So here's how I beat my competition without lowering my prices. Back in 2017, I learned a very valuable lesson when me and a friend of mine started a social media marketing agency. Basically what you do is you sell Facebook ads and other types of ads to businesses for money. And we had a lawyer as well as a massage clinic who paid us a couple $1,000s per month. It was cool and all, but we always were looking to grow and scale the business. And at this point, we basically were down to work with anybody who would just pay us money. Obviously, we watched the course, and in the course, they gave some advice and some tips on exactly which niches to go after. An example that they gave was dentists, and so that's what we did. I even remember gathering the list of the different dental clinics next to me, kind of coordinating my plan of attack to which ones I'm going to show up first and what I'm going to say and who I want to talk to. I remember starting off with this one dental clinic that was about 5 minutes from my house. I walked in and obviously I was pretty nervous at the time. I think I was like 20 or 21 years old. I remember pitching them on the service. I don't think I did such a great job, but I remember them specifically telling me that, they don't actually need the service because they have someone who's already taking care of them. So I went to their website, took a look at it. I started scrolling around and trying to figure out like, who is this company that's taking care of them? Because one of the things that I learned was sometimes they'd leave a little bit of either a watermark or a little mention somewhere at the bottom of the page. And obviously they did. So I went there and I saw this one company that, was taking care of them and was kind of doing their social media marketing for them. I noticed that on the website, it said that it was actually like built by this company. So I realized that this company wasn't just like a social media marketing agency, but it was more like an all-in-one solution. I guess they posted their socials and stuff like that, but they also built out their website for them. I was like, cool, on to the next one. It didn't really faze me because I used to do door-to-door window cleaning. So I'm all used to getting rejected and to be, people telling me no. So I was like, okay, on to the next one. Once I got to the next one, I heard a very similar story. The fact that they had already been taken care of. I remember going to like 3 or 4 dental clinics that day, and every single one of them told me that they had already someone doing it. And I remember thinking to myself, that's very strange. At the end of it, I realized that it was the exact same marketing agency taking care of each one of these dental clinics. And so after that, I came home, obviously a little bit discouraged, but I'm used to it. So I decided to do some research on this company, who they were and what they did and how they kind of just took over this whole local area where I was. Even cold calling them at one point to kind of get some information out of them, like who these people were. After doing some research, I realized that it was actually kind of a marketing agency that only specifically catered after dentists. Turns out also the company charges very, very high prices, and they were fairly new. So all of that together, that started annoying me a little bit, obviously, because it just felt like I was a little bit late to the party. I mean, these guys even had people coming to them. They had like an application page on their website where you as a dentist could go and apply to work with them. At the time, that was crazy to me because I was going out everywhere trying to get, sales and trying to sign people up, and these people were getting customers coming to them. And so taking a step back now, I can really see how much of a powerful lesson this was. And I want to share with you guys what the lesson was, because I think it really is the key to how you can beat your competition and do it without lowering prices. So let's dive into the meat and potatoes, right? I'm not going to tell you what you need to do. I'm just going to tell you what this company did upon analysis. So this company realized that there was specific needs from business to business. Maybe a food truck doesn't need the same kind of help as a dental clinic, the same help as a car wash or bowling alley. They all have their unique needs. And what they realized is that dentists didn't actually need so much social media marketing. They needed more to create systems within their business to get the most out of their clients and continue to stay in touch with them. So they actually focused, instead of the social media part of it, the first thing they did was they signed them up with building them a good website, which at the time, most dentists, and even now, I think a lot of dentists have horrible websites. So one, they sold them on an amazing looking website for the 21st century, basically. The second thing they realized is that specifically dentists wanted to be able to have an online booking system so that their secretaries would not get flooded. So everything was kind of automated in the background, and they realized that also. A lot of them also wanted to have some sort of customer portal where people can come in, see any results. If they have any x-rays or things like that, they can all go online and they can see it there. And lastly, number 4, they wanted to be able to keep in touch with their customers, whether that be through email or through notifications like, hey, you have your 6-month cleaning coming up. And to do that, again, they had to have that portal linked with kind of a notification system and everything kind of to work seamlessly together. Along with that, when they have some sort of promotion or sale, to be able to blast that out to their customer list and then bring in more clients and customers. And only after all of that did they really start to care about, the social media side of it, where you have postings on social media, you have, Facebook ads and stuff like that. They realized that the first thing, the biggest concern, was not the social media aspect, it was everything else I mentioned. And I think that one mistake that we did is we were going up focused on Facebook ads and how to get you more clients, stuff like that, when really what they wanted was a completely different thing. So by not actually even knowing the needs of our customers, we were completely unable to serve them and to sell them on our services. And by hyper targeting to dentists, they were able to kind of grow exponentially, got results for one, and they were able to turn around and go to another dentist and show them, hey, look, we started with this dentist 6 months ago. We grew their customer list by this much. We grew the revenue by this much. We have them a new website, all that kind of stuff. And we can plug you into our entire system and do the exact same thing for you. And if you have a track record, you're able to sell people much more easily as well. So if you're still watching this far, and I appreciate if you are, let me explain to you how this works with e-com and how I'm implementing this and have been implementing this into my e-com businesses. So here's what I've been doing. Instead of focusing on every single person who could buy my product, I try to find specific audiences I can appeal to. And to explain exactly what I mean by that, let's take a look at a company that does this perfectly. Instead of selling coffee to everyone, Black Rifle Coffee Company specifically targets right-leaning, Republican, veteran, gun-loving men. If you take a step back, I mean, their coffee is not much different, if at all different, from like Starbucks, but who they're focusing on is completely different. You think that doing this and kind of isolating a huge chunk of people who would still like to drink your coffee, they'd be doing something really bad. But what they're actually doing is very, very good. They're specifically targeting a very unique demographic and giving them exactly what they want. It's an automatic differentiator and sets them apart from every other coffee company. They know exactly what their customers want, what they like, and the kind of branding and imagery, that works on them. So it's exactly the same product marketed in very different ways. Let me give you another example so you can, fully understand how this kind of changes the game. So these products I'm gonna, mention right now are all products that are essentially the same thing, but have different names and are targeted towards different specific pockets of audiences. So the first one we have is an advanced math course, $19, let's say. The second one we have is an advanced math course for college students. One that's specifically for college level students, specifically geared for them, would be $49. And the last one would be an advanced math course for college finals class 1001. And that could go for, $199. I've actually seen courses like that go for even more at my, college university. People were paying like $500 for these specific math courses for their finals for a specific class. And the reason for that is, maybe the math isn't that much different, but it's specifically targeted to a very unique demographic, and they're willing to pay to solve that problem. Truthfully, they could all be very similar advanced math courses and be very, very slightly different from each other, but because they are specifically targeted to certain markets, you can charge more and more for them. So let's bring this all the way right back to e-com. Instead of selling, for example, joint supplements for dogs, which we all know is super competitive and very broad, try to niche down, try to go a little bit deeper. For example, joint supplements for toy dog breeds. And you can take that even a step further by selling joint supplements for toy dog breeds, but specifically for the puppies of that toy breed. And like I said, it can sound like you're killing off a giant portion of your potential customer base by basically reducing or cutting everybody who doesn't fit that away from your potential joint supplement. But what you're actually doing is getting specific on the root problem of your audience. People buy when they feel like they're heard and understood, when they feel like their problems and exactly how to fix them. So like in the social media marketing dentist with the company that only served dentists, in this case, you would be a supplement company that focuses specifically on puppy toy breed dogs. If, for example, there's a puppy who have some joint issues, which by the way, a lot of, toy animals do, you could be the toy dog breed joint supplement go-to company. And like in the math course example, you would be the one that actually could charge a premium because you're solving a very specific problem. And to be honest, people could buy the generic joint supplement for dogs, and that's fine, because that's not your target market. They don't really care about your message. And like I said, that's totally fine because there's tons of people who are veterans, love guns, but don't necessarily correlate with the Black Rifle Coffee Company, and they don't necessarily want to buy from them. And again, that's cool. They don't have to. There will always be people who do want to buy from them though. And there is a step to take this even further. If you are going after, let's say this example of the joint supplements, you can actually, go into the specific needs of the customers and understand, okay, if I'm only focusing on toy breeds, what are their problems? Maybe they need a higher level of vitamins, or maybe they need a higher level of something else. Maybe the generic joint supplements can't actually do that because maybe for older dogs, it isn't ideal, but for younger dogs, it's very, very good. And so you can start to craft your supplement and your product in the exact ways that solves the exact problem for your exact specific audience. In this example, I would go and I would research every single thing that toy dog breeds need for joint health. And I would try to implement all the findings into my joint supplement. So then you're not just selling the same thing everybody else is with a different kind of branding twist, but you're actually selling a better, higher quality product that specifically solves that one problem. And that way you become the king of your market. If anyone ever has a dog that has some joint supplements and that's a toy breed and a puppy, they know exactly where to go to. So instead of being the jack of all trades and trying to solve problems for everyone, you can become the ace of one, understand your market and audience perfectly, give them exactly what they need, and at the end of it, differentiate yourself and actually even charge more premium prices. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.